Today I have 5 practices to help you improve your art faster. And these are all things I wish I had tried sooner myself. These tasks are a little more in depth than the tips that I gave in my previous video about improving faster, but they're still pretty simple so that you can still do them even if you're a beginner. The first one is to start naming your paintings, and it may not seem like that big of a deal, but there are a few things that happen when you do this. But first, I wanted to mention that these practices don't have to be done all the time. That's kind of why I didn't call them habits, because you can just try them a few times and stop, or do them kind of sporadically as you feel like it. But giving them a try kind of gets your brain to start working differently as you're doing your art and thinking about things differently even when you're not doing art, but you have these things in the back of your mind. So I came across this amazing painting years ago, and I still remember the title, Our Ends Are Beginnings. And that stuck with me and made the image even more powerful, because it looks like she's falling into water and perhaps gonna drown. She's like sinking, but then underneath it turns into stars and a night sky and city lights, and it's like she's starting over in a new location. So I just love it so much, and the thought behind that title has really stuck with me, that okay, it feels like something is ending, but something is also beginning at the same time. And so it helps me to be less sad. And it's crazy that that can come through in the titles of our artwork. And so, yes, it could have been titled Girl Falling in Water or Splash or something like that. But you don't always have to have a crazy creative name. But when you do get that, it can really convey an important message or just some kind of deeper meaning to go along with the painting. But you could title it something that has to do with the location. Like if you're painting a landscape, then you could put where that was. But anyway, just have that in the back of your mind. You can also have a list of ideas for names of paintings and go back and look at that list, and it can give you an idea of something to paint. And I've gotten paintings that I really like from doing that, because I just had this name for a painting and then I painted something that made me think of that. So that was kind of a fun surprise as well. And you can even take it a step further and write a description to go along with the painting, as if it were going to be featured in an art gallery or something to share the story behind the painting. So if someone were just looking at the painting, then they could get a little more information to know what makes it special. And that can often separate between, a painting that is just cute and fun, and a painting that is like, I've got to have this, or I love this so much, or I want to tell someone else about this. Okay, second is to log your artwork and give it a rating, and then also list out things that you like about it and things that you would change if you painted it again. I have done this several times, not with all of my paintings, but it was such a good practice to start. And then when I realized I've done a painting and I kind of like it, or I really want to make the painting work, but the current version that I have is not working, then I'm able to jot that stuff down while it's fresh in my mind, and I can still come back to paint it the next day or the next week, and I'll still remember the things that I wanted to change. And I don't feel like I have to keep it all in my brain. But also it helps you to gauge how fun it was for you to paint, like the time that you're actually painting, and also how much you liked the end result. And that can help you kind of find your style or what you enjoy painting more and do more of that type of thing. or help you to see what some challenges are that maybe you want to work on as well. Either way, it just helps you to recognize some patterns that are going on. The third thing is to paint from your life. And this was so crazy for me. People had kind of said it a lot, but I thought that was just like a different style of painting. And actually, I realized recently why I was so stuck on using tutorials or reference images was because I first tried to paint without looking at an object and just doing it on my own, and it looked like finger painting. I did not like it at all. And once I started watching other people, like through videos and everything, I was like, oh, sure, it doesn't look exactly like theirs, but I actually like the end result. Sometimes it even helped me because I was watching someone else and they did something I didn't like, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I don't have to do that in mine. And so I liked mine even better than theirs. So I was really stuck on doing that. And same with like reference photos that were already in watercolor, because I was like, I know this can look good in watercolor. And if it was something in my real life or even a picture, then I wasn't sure how it would turn out or if I would like it. So I, for some reason, just started this 30-day gratitude challenge. I think I was reading something similar in a book where maybe they did a sketch for 30 days of things they were grateful for. And I was like, oh, I can do that with watercolor, because I had written down things I'm grateful for years, and that kind of got old and boring for me. And doing this painting challenge just gave it new life and really helped me focus on things that I'm grateful for. And that meant that I was painting objects that were around my house and very personal to me. So I did do like one of our wedding photos, and so that was a picture, and it was also a picture that I didn't take myself, but it was still fun and helpful and not me looking at my phone. So I appreciated that, and I had so much fun with it. It really opened up just a whole new world of art for me. So I feel a lot more confident and comfortable painting objects around me or pictures that I've taken like from my travels. And I love that. I love seeing the picture and reliving those amazing, beautiful moments, and then having a new souvenir from it and being able to show people something else. And when I do decide to paint other things or do more custom work, or when someone asks me like, hey, can you paint this? I feel more comfortable with it even if I don't have a reference photo or tutorial to go based off of. And that has been amazing. I have just painted so much more and loved it. But it does, I realized I do still need to look at something, because there are very few things that I can paint just out of my brain completely. Like, yes, I can look at a picture and I can change it drastically, but it still gives me a base to work with. And a lot of times when I go outside of that, I don't like the end result, unless it's like some flowers, but still a lot of times I like the flowers that I'm looking at a picture of better than just one that I'm making up. I kind of go back and forth on that. Fourth is to do more of what works. And one example of that is this video. And I actually had the idea for this video a while back, and I probably should have done it sooner, but the video that probably most of you subscribed to was one that was similar and that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. It has almost 5,000 views and I only have like 250 subscribers. So that was, a pretty big thing for me. And also that was months ago, like I said. So if I had done this sooner, maybe I would have progressed more quickly, or maybe this video will be a flop and I don't know why the other one got so many views, or maybe this one will be too long. I don't know. but it's at least worth trying again. And the same goes for art pieces that people seem a little more impressed by than your other pieces. Try doing those again and repeating that. And one thing for me was sketches. I was gravitating towards watercolor, but sketches will also help my watercolor. So I feel like practicing sketching helps watercolor, but also helps my sketching. And I really love that. And I got some inspiration from a free Winnie the Pooh book that I found in my neighborhood. Someone was giving it away. And it was just pen sketches and they looked so good. And so I wanted to try that. And I had been wanting to paint a picture of Yosemite for so long. And it never did. I wasn't ready. I didn't know what size paper I wanted to use or what colors to do and how it would turn out. And so when I did a sketch, basically I just copied Winnie the Pooh sketch and was kind of impressed myself. I'm like, oh wow, that looks amazing. Not necessarily just the finished work, but even just the process of me doing that. And I was also like very loose with it and was surprised how just from nothing it can look so much like this comfortable, comforting scene. And so I took one of my photos that I took while I was in Yosemite and I sat down with it and I did the same thing after, like within a week of having done the other sketch. And yes, there were things I would want to change about it, but I want to do that again. And I like how it turned out. I love just looking at it sitting on my desk. And if you're like me, a lot of your art you may look at and just be annoyed by because it didn't turn out the way that you wanted. But this one, even though it wasn't perfect to me, I still love it. And it's just like, gives this wonderful feeling, not just because of like, oh, this was an amazing work and I'm such a great artist, but because it takes me to that place. And it is a beautiful place. It's a waterfall, a really tall and beautiful waterfall by this flowing creek. And it was so fun and one of my favorite spots that we went to. And fifth is to make it fun, which sounds so hilarious to say about art because like art is fun and so many people choose to do art because it's fun. And yet when we start doing it a lot or we get caught up in the details, then it kind of sucks out the fun and we can make it feel more like work or more like frustration. But just reminding ourselves that it's fun and also making it like a game or okay, I'm frustrated with this one thing, but let me try this other thing that sounds really fun right now. And I mean, do that while also completing works of art. Like, do finish them, but also take a break from them or, you know, do something different. Like, it doesn't always have to be the same, even though I said continue to do what works, but also change it up sometimes. And someone who does amazing at making art fun is Marco. He has millions of subscribers, but I still just have to tell you about him because it just gets you excited about art again. And he incorporates other people into it because he'll ask if he can paint the shoes that they're wearing and he'll take them and go paint them and bring them back and meet up with them. And it's just so fun. He'll ask some things that they like and that'll help with his inspiration. So if you haven't heard of him, you can go check out his channel. He's not specifically watercolor, but it can still give you some inspiration and ideas. And I have another artist that's like this and I can't wait to share her, but I'm trying to do one artist spotlight per video or per week or month. So I will save that for next time. And if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you made it this far in the video. I think you'll like some of my other ones too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing day.